Well, hello, beautiful Sagittarians, and welcome to this timeless reading. So, whenever this reading comes across you, there is a message here that is meant for you. So, it is a meditation before I shuffled all the cards, and the different themes that came through for us really was firstly, heart opening and closing was a strong theme that came through. That was the first theme that came through. Then this caterpillar was like a little weird. All I could see was the caterpillar that was literally on the ground, like that's why I drew the legs. Just excuse my drawing, it's not my base talent. All I could see was just the little legs touching on the ground all the time, like touching on the ground, touching on the ground, touching on the ground, trying to make sure that all the ground is covered almost. And a little while after that, just the message came through around rather be the butterfly that's floating through things, right? So that was one of the themes. The next one that came through was triggers, and then it followed by it is to be cared for. The triggers are to be cared for. And then time is not running out was another one that came through. And then the last one, and after this there were no more messages, was the tower. So definitely the tower, seeing a castle or a tower, and the question around, are your foundations steady? So we'll see if any of these themes do come through for us today. So let's go ahead and get the cards. Spirit guides, can you please guide the beautiful Sagittarians on what we, yes, I am a Sagittarius too, what we need to know. So we're just going to get one more card, and I am shuffling just a little bit away from the speaker because I know that it's not the best sound, especially when, like now, we're struggling to get the last card. Well, not struggling, it's just taking a little bit longer. Okay, so let's have a look at what has come up for us so far. So the first one that's come up is Archangel Raphael, and this one is about love, healing, and miracles. I feel like there's a very strong call for everybody to start believing in miracles again. There's, when I look at, triggers and time is not running out, the tower and the foundations, that's really taking me to a sense of anxiety and fear and stress. And remember that when we are feeling a sense of fear, and I mean, we all go through it, absolutely can resonate, where we're just like, how is this going to work out? How is that going to work out? How are we going to get through this? And what would be the outcome of this? And we live in this space of fear, and that is the actual opposite of love. There is really only fear and love. If you think about the depths of any other emotion that brings on a negative feeling for you, the basis of it is fear, right? So this is really a call for us to step more into this healing ourselves kind of energy, but look at everything from a place of love and believe in miracles, right? Let's start to just believe in miracles again, because I know for the Sagittarius Collective, I'm pretty sure you've experienced some beautiful miracles in your life, and there's really just a call for us to believe in miracles. Okay, so wow, this is a beautiful card. It's quite a new deck, so I'm still getting to know them all, but look at this beautiful community over here, and this is you, right? Whether you're masculine or feminine, it's the energy in the card. This is everybody rejoicing around, there's a sense of community almost. The card meaning is spiritual practices and intuitive history. I mean, the fact that you are here right now is a really great sign, because this is a spiritual practice, and the message really is to be devoted to it. This makes me think a little bit about the message that I have here about heart opening and closing, and especially when we're looking at it from a perspective of love, how often are we jumping in and out of the state of love and in and out of the state of fear? And again, just following on my message there, this is really a message for us to be devoted to our spiritual practices so that we can focus on love, miracles, and healing. Really beautiful energy in that card over there. Okay, I love this card also, the Shaman. So we've got healing now twice. This is healing energy. And Shaman, I mean, the Shaman is a very spiritual, very, it's a spiritual figure that we revere greatly within the spiritual community. Just look at the picture over there. You've got the Shaman that's showing the little one, how to use the plants while holding all of that wisdom and power there with them. It's the same as this one. Look at this. This is all about miracles. Miracles. We have to have faith in miracles. Once we heal those things, like where we're choosing fear instead of love, we will start to feel this healing energy, healing. It's coming through twice, so very strong synchronicity here. I mean, particularly with the spiritual energy, like it's just, there's a really strong call for everybody to just, go inward and think about what are those things that are making you feel afraid or fearful, and how do you actually overcome those with love? Because when we think about this, for example, I really am getting the tower energy. But if we think about the tower happens because the individuals in the tower, and I don't have my original Rider-Waite deck here now, but when we look at the tower card in the original tarot, we can see that there's individuals that are being that are jumping out of the tower because it's been struck by lightning. And essentially, it's because the foundations of that tower no longer serve them. They've had warnings, so there's been like cracks in the wall, and the tower has started shaking a little bit, but the individuals inside the tower are just like, you know what, it's going to be fine, we'll just stay put. And then the universe is like, bam, no, these foundations are no longer safe for you, so let's get you out of here now. And when we think about that, how strong are our spiritual foundations? How devoted are we to trusting that we will be held in safety? Okay, so the next one is peace and tranquility. I really feel that this is a bit of a crazy time for Sagittarius. I feel that there's a lot of turbulent energy happening, and some of you might even be fantasizing about being at this place. I know that recently I was exactly there, just like fantasizing. Not here, I wish I was here. But I mean, if fantasizing about being just right there, like I just want to be like right there, and I just want to like stay at that beautiful view. I just want to feel the sense of tranquility, have a sense of peace, and remember that it is through kind of love and finding that healing energy for ourselves, being devoted to our spiritual practices where we put love first, that we're actually able to find that peace and tranquility. So this message is actually reading really beautifully right now. I'm going to move on to the tarot. We're going to have a look at the angel tarot and have a look at what's coming up for us there. We might have some further clarification on some of those messages that I have. In terms of caterpillar, again, when we look at healing energy, love, miracles, those are all of the light. And for me, the way I can represent the differences between the caterpillar and the butterfly, and remember, they're all the same thing. The caterpillar emerges into the butterfly. So the caterpillar is like on the ground. He's got all his little legs walking all over the place. The very cute little caterpillar, but he's on the ground. Whereas, it's kind of keeping yourself on the ground and keeping your finger on top of everything. And we must remember that we cannot micromanage the universe. We cannot micromanage the bigger plan. So let's not be that caterpillar. Let's transform into the butterfly so that we become lighter, so that we can feel a sense of healing and move away from any kind of negative feelings that we've been sensing. Okay, Spirit, I'm going to ask for a couple more cards now within the tarot. We're only going to do upright. So could you please provide us with some guidance? What does the Sagittarius Collective need to know? That's way too many cards that have fallen out there. So just 2 or 3 cards for the Sagittarius Collective. Wow, okay, we're really struggling with these cards a little. That one wants to come out for us over there. Okay, the 5 of water. So I definitely sense that there is some level of disappointment happening for some of you. It might be a project that you wanted to work on. It might be a connection that you had a lot of hope for. We'll get to the bottom of it now, but there's definitely a sense of things not really going your way, and there's the final one, which is the 3 of fire. So let's have a look at this first card. This first card that we have here is the 5 of water. And the 5 of water, which represents the 5 of cups, really represents feeling like something didn't go your way, like you feel like you've missed out on something. And the message on the card here for us is things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, and crying over spilled milk. And that's really the 5 of cups. It's like sitting there, like feeling really like, oh my gosh, like what's happened? But this, I feel like, is the state that we've potentially been been experiencing. Because then we have got followed by that is the 8 of Cups, the 8 of Water. And this is really about moving on to better things. So it's a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful. And again, we've got emotional and spiritual growth. Let's just have a look again at all of this. We've got the spiritual practices card and your intuitive history. I think there's a reminder for us to not forget about how much power we actually have within ourselves when we tap into that intuition. We've got the shaman, which is healing energy. And of course, we've got Archangel Raphael over there. Thank you, Archangel Raphael, for blessing us with your beautiful presence and bringing forth this miracle of just changing our perspective, right? But really, spiritual and emotional growth is something that is a very key part of our journeys. I mean, that's why also this channel exists, so that I can help others gain perspective through their journey. But this is really about a desire to move on. So some of you might be searching for something more meaningful and you're not quite sure where to look. Some of you might be searching for something more meaningful within your spiritual practices, which is amazing. Keep doing that, because, I mean, you can just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And really, that is the one way where we find peace and tranquility, is within ourselves, within our own knowing that we are taken care of by the divine. So it really feels like we're in the space of feeling like we've lost out on something didn't go our way. We're feeling disappointed, and we're like, okay, how do we move forward into something that's just going to be better for us, right? That's going to bring more meaning. And definitely there's guidance here to focus on your spiritual journey. The next one we have is the 10 of Fire, which is the 10 of Wands. I really love this deck. It's so beautiful as well. The 10 of Wands really represents that you've been carrying too much weight. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you'll see an individual carrying 10 wands like on his back, and it's just too much. It's all been too much. So perhaps that's why you're in this space right now, is because you're just like, oh my gosh, I've been doing every single thing I can, and this exactly brings me back to this caterpillar. Like, I've been trying to make everything work. I've got all 100 freaking legs on everything. I mean, I don't know how many legs a caterpillar has, but you know, just yes, just bear with me. So really, there's an energy of you've just been carrying too much weight around. Like, you've been trying to do so much, and it's possibly not turned out in the way that you've wanted, and that's why there's this feeling of disappointment. And now you're like, okay, but how do I, where do I find meaning? And I'm feeling that Spirit is really guiding us to go into our spirituality. Like, this is a very clear message about being devoted to our spiritual practices, remembering the love and the peace and the joy that we feel when we do these spiritual practices. So the message on this card for the 10 of Fire, which represents the 10 of Wands, is to accept help from others. Your life is out of balance, and then there's also potentially some stress-related health concerns. So let's get a little bit more with this 10 of Fire. I'm going to go over to the Oracle cards here, and let's just find out from Spirit, what is it that Sagittarius is currently dealing with in terms of this 10 of Fire? Remember that the 10 of Wands is also representing that you have gone through a really difficult time, but that is also coming to an end. And that's what the 10 of Wands is representing. So I'm just going to get some clarification over there. So the first card that's come out for us in terms of clarifying the 10 of Wands is Courage and Boldness. We'll go through to the next one now. And really, again, you can see this individual's in the wood and they're like ready for the hunt, right? Like, they're ready for the hunt. But here's the owl that's like, hey, you kind of know better. Like, don't be the caterpillar that's trying to touch ground everywhere. Just be the butterfly, like float like a butterfly. Let's have a look here what this message says. So stepping into courage despite your fears. So again, we're talking about fear, being willing to take a risk in order to gain more, and speaking your truth. So some of you might actually be in a situation where you're actually taking a risk right now so that you can gain more in some or other way. Or it could be a situation where you're feeling really stuck. I'm getting kind of 8 of Swords energy here, but you're feeling really stuck and you're needing to speak your truth. This has got to do with why you're feeling this heaviness of the 10 of Wands, but it's also coming to a close. The next one is people. Okay, so it definitely is got to do with people. I mean, really, like, when does it not, right? This human experience is always giving us opportunities to learn and grow. So the message here is, where or when are you feeling discouraged or undervalued? Do you want to be part of the in crowd? What ideal qualities would you like to adopt? So potentially some of you are going through a period of transformation. Again, when I think about the caterpillar turning into the butterfly, that is definitely a transformation. And I know that a great part of the collective are going through a massive transformation right now. Even if we think about the tower, this is when a massive transformation occurs for us. So there could be people in your life that are making you look at how you are living your life, how you are spending your time, what you are spending your time and energy on. And that could be actually getting you down for some of you. So just take what resonates and please leave behind what does not. But perhaps there's a call for you to be a little bit more courageous, and instead of following what other people are telling you to do, is to actually go within and to find that inner wisdom within yourself, and to move forward on your own path, like a butterfly. Thank you for the clarification there, Spirit. Next, we have the Three of Fire. So, okay, this is the Three of Wands. Oh, sorry, yes, the Three of Wands. Really love this card as well. And this card speaks about new opportunities on the horizon for you. So this card in the traditional Rider-Waite, or also, it symbolizes someone that's kind of looking out ahead, looking at the waves that are coming in and trying to see which wave is the best one for them to catch, right? So we are going through this really difficult thing, but what lies on the other side of it is actually hope and inspiration. Where do I have this? Here we go. So time is not running out. If we think about that, let's think about that for a second. We're standing, we've got a surfboard. I know that not everybody would be surfing, but let's say we're just trying to catch the perfect wave, right? Let's use that as an analogy for our lives. We're always trying to catch that perfect wave. So, I mean, typically, you would stand there and wait, and then it's like, okay, the tides are changing. What if I don't catch the perfect wave? But in this game of life, time is not running out for you to fulfill the deeper things that are within your heart, because abundance does lie ahead for you. Things look very good. It literally says on the card. So having patience at this time is going to be incredibly important. Thank you so much, Spirit. That absolutely validates what I was thinking over there, or what came through to me over there. But what I'm thinking about, how this exactly ties in, is right there. Time is not running out. Have patience during this time, because abundance is on the way for you. So rather, go within, do some of that internal healing, focus more on the love than on the fear. Believe in miracles and be devoted to your journey, because abundance is ahead for you. Think about your long-term plans. What are the things that you want to be doing down the line in your life? Okay, we're going to close this reading out. I hope that this has resonated for some of you. This is meant to be just a really quick timeless reading, that when this finds you and you need this little bit of perspective and a little bit of encouragement to move forward, then I truly hope that this gives you what you need. So we're now going to move over to the Hidden Worlds deck. I really love this deck. And let's have a final look for Sagittarius. Please, Spirit, what are the messages that Sagittarius need to know at this time? Could you give us our closing messages for Sagittarius? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, there's a couple that have fallen down here. That's way too many cards. So it's really amazing to see, there's this really kind of tricky area over here, but really when we take things into perspective, if we're looking for peace and tranquility, how else do we actually obtain that, right? We could be sitting in the most peaceful place, but if we don't actually quieten our minds, we don't go within, we don't trust that the universe has got our back, we'll still be in turmoil. We'll still face the fear. Okay, we've got three messages here to close us out. So the first one that's come up for us here is the Dolphin Caller. So for me, this is really just a message that Spirit is there giving you loving help when you need it. Remember to ask for help. Remember that your guardian angels, your spirit guides, the universe, God, however, that relates to you, they will never step in unless you ask them for your help, because they will never interfere with your own free will. So remember to actually call upon help. Call upon Archangel Raphael for his healing energy, for miracles, and to feel that sense of love. But the Dolphin Caller is a really beautiful card. It also speaks about joyful friendships. So wherever you do have friendships that actually do add a lot of value to your life, please do focus on those friendships at this time, because we got that card about people, and that was clarifying this really heavy energy over here. So just be sure about who you're spending your time with. Are they actually bringing you love and a sense of healing when you can be with them and open up to them? Okay, returning home. So we did speak about transformation, and I think that we need to remember that during any time of transformation, it's going to be incredibly difficult, because we're letting go of old parts of who we were. We're letting go of aspects of ourselves that we thought we wanted, but actually, do we even want them anymore? When we think about that tower energy as well, do we even want to be staying in that tower anymore? Obviously the foundations are not great for us, but do we want to be staying there? So I'm going to give us a quick clarification card just on the returning home. Some of you also might be longing for home if you don't live where you grew up. There is on this card also a message of loving welcome. So some of you might actually be thinking about going back home, or going somewhere that feels like home. And the message that I'm getting is that it would definitely be a loving welcome for you. So we've got 2 clarification cards for that one. First one is food. So this is also an interesting one. We spoke about the tower, and it's no longer serving you well. So what is no longer sustaining you in your life? And remember that our bodies are our vessels. If we're not treating our bodies very well, and look, by no means I'm not the most perfect person, right? I love me some fries, and I love all those things that are probably not the best thing for our body. But we also need to remember that our bodies are our vessel, and that is how we show up in this human experience. So if we're not treating our bodies very well, we're just not going to feel great. But really, I think the message that's coming through is what is no longer sustaining you. So as you're going through this time of transition, because this is what it is, this is what it's clarifying, life between lifetimes, as we're going through this transition, what is no longer sustaining you, so that we can actually release that behind us. The next one is, okay, weather and natural events. So I spoke a little bit about, in the beginning, I think I spoke about chaos and turbulence and a storm. I'm not sure if I actually did say that, but definitely got that energy. And it's about what's urgent in your life, what's making you feel overwhelmed and is out of your control. Are you worried about how you will survive a major change? Okay, literally the tower. Are your foundations steady? Literally the tower. Literally the electricity striking the tower. So, this is a really strong message that if you have not been feeling a sense of transition in your life, perhaps you've not realized that you actually are going through a transition. Perhaps you're just feeling so out of sorts. You're feeling like you're carrying a lot of weight. You're feeling like you've really missed out on some things. You're not sure where to look for more, inspiration, motivation, meaning. Perhaps you're not even aware that you're actually going through a massive transition right now. And it's a spiritual transition for sure. We have got so many cards here speaking about spiritual energy. It's quite rare to have so many cards of 4 decks that have each got 50 plus cards. We have so many cards speaking about spiritual energy. So to clarify, the returning home, you are going through a transition right now. Wherever it is that feels like home, where you'll get that loving welcome and that loving embrace, go there. Go to the people and the places in your life that set your soul on fire, that bring you that loving, healing energy. Thank you for that clarification, Spirit. And then for the final card, We have got the Mother Awakens. Again, we have compassion. Didn't we have compassion here earlier? But this one is about compassion, nurture, and guidance. So some of you might actually be thinking of going home to your mom if you're still lucky enough to have your mom around. I'm still very lucky to have my mom. But someone that might be a motherly figure. It doesn't even have to be a feminine. It could be someone that you see as, that energy of nurturing. And I definitely feel that for some of you, there's a sense of you wanting to go back to a place that feels like home. We definitely have that returning home card, and sometimes, so even for me, a couple of weeks ago, I was just going through exactly this energy, guys. Like, I'm not even lying to you, like exactly, and I'm still kind of trying to move through it in certain ways. But the thing that really made me feel great was going to my parents' place, and just actually having a sense of peace. That's exactly what I did. Look, I had a bunch of work to do still, but the moments where I could just go and sit by the ocean and have peace and tranquility, it really helped. So wherever you have got the opportunity to maybe get some guidance from someone that you really love and trust, do take that opportunity, because you are going through a transition right now. You do need to have compassion for yourself. You need to love yourself. And I think this is where that heart opening and closing comes in. For me, what I saw was you're opening your heart to something, and then something really not so great happens and your heart closes up again. And what do? We resort to fear. And that's where really we just need to be resorting to love and to miracles. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. Love and light, and take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining me.